Hey everyone, Steph and Superfloof here. Get ready to unleash the full potential of learning in your organization. Today we have an exciting topic that will not only transform the way your team learns, but also showcase the impact that you can have on their growth. We're going to dive into the step-by-step installation and configuration of Microsoft's learning pathways. Now picture this, your organization is thriving and your end users are looking for training. How do you ensure they have access to the right learning at the right time? The only constant anymore is the speed of change. That's where learning pathways comes in. Traditional LMS systems take money and time to implement. With learning pathways, you're taking a giant leap towards creating a culture of continuous learning, leveraging Microsoft's millions of dollars they spend on research and marketing. But why should you be excited about learning pathways? This is your opportunity to shine. With learning pathways, you become the enabler, the hero behind the scenes. You ensure your team has access to curated learning paths, engaging content, and personalized learning experiences. You become the driving force behind their growth and success. But that's not all. Learning pathways also allows us to customize the platform for your organization's needs. We can create custom learning paths, we can show or hide topics entirely, and we can do it all within your own branding scheme, all within the Microsoft ecosystem. Now here's the icing on the cake. Learning pathways seamlessly integrates into Teams. By embedding it directly into Teams, you are providing your team with a unified learning experience. They can access learning pathways, collaborate, and learn together all within the same familiar environment they use every day. By installing and configuring learning pathways, you'll empower your team, foster a culture of continuous learning, and position yourself as a driving force behind their growth. It's a great opportunity to showcase your experience and make a lasting impact within your organization. Now don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more tips and transformative tutorials that'll help you shine as an IT professional, not only within SharePoint Learning Pathways, but also in the Power Platform. Okay, let's dive into the step-by-step installation and configuration of learning pathways and watch your organization's learning soar to new heights. Here we are on my desktop. I've gone to lookbook.microsoft.com. I can either click examples or scroll down the page. I'm just going to scroll. Here we can see all sorts of different SharePoint templates that Microsoft is providing. They're great templates and great ways to learn how to do different things or communicate different things within your organization. Today we're just going to focus on solutions, and if we click there, our first option is Microsoft 365 Learning Pathways. If we click there, it gives us an overview of site features, web parts used, content included, and we can click Add to your tenant. You must be a tenant admin to deploy this tenant, and here we have some of the system requirements. I should have mentioned that this does need to be on a O365 tenant. I'm going to click Add to your tenant, and here we have it. It will email you when the site provisioning is complete. By default, it always goes with M365 Learning Pathways. You can change this to whatever you like. Let's say your intranet's name is, or your help desk's name is training, or you want to have it be training. Then you can click the provision button. It's going to validate some prerequisites, and if you want to continue, you're going to have to hit confirm. I've already provisioned the site, so I'm just going to click cancel out of this and close the window. Here we have Learning Pathways out of the box. I've done nothing to it yet, and with only a couple of tweaks, we could roll this live. However, let's not. Let me give you an example of what it'll look like when we get done, and I will step you through how we do all of this. But before we get there, let's talk about what Learning Pathways is. At first glance, it looks like just a regular old SharePoint site. If I click Edit and scroll down just a little bit and click the plus sign here, we have a new web part. It's called Microsoft 365 Learning. When you provision this to your site, this will be a new option. Now, within here, we can click Edit again, and then we can filter the items here. All of this content will appear to your end users to be coming from your tenant. However, all of this is fed from GitHub. The fabulous part about all of this being fed from GitHub is that Microsoft updates it on a schedule. Every quarter or so, Microsoft comes in and will roll new content updates. Here we have, as of June 2023, the content updates. Microsoft Loop, Viva Goals, and then we get into August. This is an LMS system that you never have to push updates to. Microsoft will do it for you, so this is always at the cusp of what's happening. Let's go back to my provisioned out-of-the-box site, and let's click on Microsoft 365 Training. Now, if you recall from the Learning Pathways content update schedule, they just added Loop. If we scroll down on the page, here we have Loop. I didn't do anything to add it to this. Microsoft pushed it all for us. This is where Learning Pathways can provide so much bang for your buck. Microsoft will update this for you. You don't have to do anything. When someone calls your help desk or calls whoever their main point of contact is for your intranet and says, what is this new thing I've heard about Loop? You can send them here and get back to your daily tasks. Once they've been sent here a couple of times, they know that this is where they go to get the latest and greatest. We have Viva Connections, Viva Learning, Viva Goals, all of these items. Now here's something kind of cool. You'll see I have access here. I don't know a single IT person in their right mind that really wants access in a large organization. So again, with Microsoft, there's multiple ways of doing things. I can click here on the gear, and that takes me directly into the admin center for Learning Pathways. From the admin center, I can either change things by category or technology. I'm going to change this drop down to technology, scroll down, select access, scroll back up, again, Microsoft Calisthenics, hide. Now, if I go back to the home page, go back to Microsoft 365 and scroll down, access is gone. It's that easy to configure the basic parts of the page. If we go back to the home page, as I said, we could roll this live. However, let's look at a site where I have configured it a little bit more. This is how you can leverage SharePoint out of the box to really give your end users more information. The more you're able to flesh out a Learning Pathways site like this, the more you empower your end users. I have a policy that if a user can't find what they're looking for in an intranet in 3 clicks, they're going to get frustrated and call the help desk or call their tech friend. Let's build this so that they don't have to call you. As we move down the page, I've renamed a few of these hero web parts. We have Explore Microsoft Products, start here. If I click on that, it takes me directly into the same part that we saw before. New hires to Microsoft. This takes them right into getting started with Microsoft 365. New hires could be sent directly to here to navigate through signing in. How do you sign in? Again, all of this is curated from GitHub through Microsoft. There is nothing you have to do to update this when something changes. So let's go back to the main page. Oh, I forgot, before I do that, Microsoft knows that not everyone learns everything the same way, so you'll notice that it's a combination of text, graphics, and where applicable videos. They know how to reach their end users. There's no reason for us to reinvent the wheel when we could have Microsoft helping us out with this. As we move down the page, here I have added some additional web parts. We have quick links on the left that take us out to Microsoft sites, right? What's new in Teams. On the right, we have another quick links, and I'll get into how I customized all of this in a minute. We have more quick links because redundancy in an intranet is not a bad thing. Not everyone thinks about things the same way you or I do. As we move down the page, here we're leveraging YouTube. Again, let's make it user-friendly. Make it work for everybody within your organization. I worked for a city hall in a smaller town, and we had a gentleman that worked for the parks department that would check his email once a month from his son's computer because he didn't want the internet in his house. You have to try and navigate all levels of users within your organization. As we move down the page, try out Microsoft Teams with a click-through demo. This is a fabulous tool that, again, Microsoft is providing us for free. I'll put the link in the chat. It allows your end users to get stepped through how to use Teams. basic demo, we could do it in a mobile device or a desktop. Let's do desktop. See here in Microsoft Teams, you can meet, chat, call, and collaborate with everyone you work with, all in one place. I can step through this once, twice, or 15 times, however many times your end user may need. As we move down the page, I've added a section with a link to the help desk. And then here is another learning web part, or learning pathways web part, just filtered to show products. Now, curated content is all well and good, but what happens if you have certain policies that don't correlate to Microsoft's training? Let's say you do not allow end users to create teams. Well, if we click on Get Started with Teams and scroll down, we have a Set Up and Customize Your Team, where the first step is create a team. You may not want to enable your end users to allow that to control sprawl. Let's work on that. So what we need to do is create or hide this playlist and create our own. Again, multiple ways of doing things. I can click the gear as we saw here. I can click on the home button, and Microsoft created a menu for us that has the Learning Pathways Administration. I could also go into Site Contents, Site Pages, and navigate to this page as well. And here we are in the Learning Pathways Administration. Let's scroll down and find Microsoft Teams. Then Microsoft Calisthenics, we scroll back to the top. Now set up and customize your team. If we click on that playlist, you'll notice that we have 3 portions of it. Manage team settings, work with external guests, and create a team with templates. You can decide whether or not you want to hide the entire thing or just a portion of it. Side scroll here. You'll notice that we have multiple languages. When we deploy Learning Pathways, it also comes with multiple languages by default. So if we look at the translation, I went back to the home page, clicked on translation. When Learning Pathways gets published, it gets published with all of these languages. Any pages you create within here after that fact don't have these pages, but anything out of the box has a German, French, Russian, Chinese, Japanese, Portuguese, Spanish, Italian, or Dutch version of the page as an option for the end users. We could view the languages as well, or view the site in that language as well. Total side scroll. Let's go back to where we were in the administration portion. Now, for the sake of this demo, let's say we don't want to show create teams or work with external guests or manage team settings. We want to hide the whole thing. So we're going to hide the entire playlist. So we're going to click on the eyeball icon, and that hides the entire thing for us. It takes it a minute. And now what we're going to do is create a new playlist. So first thing you need to do is title it, request a new team site. I can never type when people are watching. The process to request a new team site. What's our technology? It's going to be Microsoft Teams. And as you see, the product already selected Microsoft Teams for us. We could select our own image if we wanted. I'm going to leave it default for now. Now as we scroll down, hit Save Detail. Now we need to add assets to that playlist. Let's create a new asset. This is new team request process. The technology is going to be Microsoft Teams yet again, and we can click Create Asset Page. That'll create a blank page for us. It takes it a minute, and it'll name it whatever we have the title set to. We're going to click Save Asset. Now we have a new playlist as well as a new page. Let's click on Edit, and we could go in and change that if we wanted. But let's click here and click on Open Page. So put File, Media, and from a link, I'm going to grab it from one of my other sites. Now we have some content in there, and I hit Publish. Let's close this out, go back to the home page, or from the menu, click on Microsoft 365, Getting Started with Microsoft Teams. And here we have our new playlist. At the bottom, if I click on it, it opens up the page I created with the video. Back to the configured learning pathways. I took about an hour and configured this site to give an idea of what it could look like if someone spends some time on it. If we scroll down, actually I'm going to hit edit on the page. And here we have quick links on the left and a different version of quick links on the right. Let's look at this really quick. So what we have here is if I click on one of the quick links and edit, these are quick links out to Microsoft. So this is what's new from Microsoft. And then here, these are quick links to pages within our site. Again, showing people different ways of navigating to the data they like. 3 mouse clicks. If they can't find what they're looking for in 3 mouse clicks, they're going to get annoyed and call you, which negates the whole purpose of an intranet site. So let's look at this one here. This is a good example. Actually, I'm going to hit republish. A good example of a page flesh out that you could do for a specific technology. Now remember, I created this page myself, which means it did not come from Microsoft, so there is no translation for the page. So if I click on translation at the top, you'll see we could create them from here, create for all languages. We could set up a Power Automate to notify our translation person. You know, you don't necessarily want AI to translate a page for you. The nuances of the language don't always get captured. So we could have a Power Automate that whenever a new page after our initial setup is configured, whenever a new page gets configured, a notification gets sent to our German speaker, our French speaker, or Russian speaker. Just a little Power Automate plug-in there for you. This page I created, as I said, from scratch. If we click edit, we're describing what the technology is to someone who may not know. Microsoft Outlook, it's an email task manager. Here we have some quick links with links to pages, again, outside to Microsoft, giving them more information. As we go down the page, this is what I wanted to show you. This is the same Microsoft Learning 365 web part that I showed you before, but I've filtered it for Outlook. If we look at the right, the source is Microsoft 365 Learning Pathways. The web part is full. The filter could be a category, but we have subcategory. And from the subcategory, we've selected Outlook. That allows us to customize on the page what technology we're looking for. Again, all of this is from GitHub. We don't have to curate any of this. This will update as new things get added. The right part of the screen, we have some text and then more YouTube videos from Microsoft. Multiple ways of consuming the data. Make it as user-friendly for your end users as possible. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to talk about customizing the page or get into the Power Automate portion of the page translation as well. Now let's embed learning pathways in Teams. Superfloof woke up, so we have some adult supervision. Here we have learning pathways embedded in Teams. This gives our end users the one pane of glass that Microsoft is really encouraging. I can navigate through the site, go through the different playlists, everything that I could do through SharePoint in one pane of glass. Now, how this is accomplished has changed recently and is a little bit different than what you'll find elsewhere in the interwebs. So instead of going to Design Studio, if we go to Apps and search for Developer Portal, and built by Microsoft, Developer Portal, we're going to open that. And here's where we can create our app. I'm going to click on Apps at the top. And you'll see I've done this a couple times. This is the original one that you see here, and this is the one I was working on earlier today. We're going to create a new app. What are we going to call this? Learning Pathways 2, and add. Now let's fill out some basic information. For this instance, we don't really need a full name, but best practice would be to have a full name there. The full description I'm going to copy and paste from my other screen, and a short description. There we go. Empowering continuous learning through curated paths and resources. What version do we want it? We'll start it at 1. The developer is me. The URL. Now you have to have a privacy and a term of use page within your site, and I've already created them. They don't really have to have anything, but Microsoft does require that you have them. Now we have to have an application or a client ID, and for that you have to go to Azure. So if you don't have access to Azure, talk to the proper person within your organization. But here I am on portal.azure.com. We go to app registration. From here we're going to create a new registration. And what are we going to call it? I'm going to be consistent. Learning Pathways 2. And I only want it for this one tenant. And that's all you have to do. So we click register. And we need the application ID. So hover next to it, click copy, go back to here, and we enter the application client ID. Now we hit save. Now we've covered basic information. Here's where we'd want to put branding. We would want to add different icons, 192 by 192 pixels ping. And for the outline icon, 32 by 32 pixel ping. I'm just going to keep those as default, and I'm going to click publish. Now I could download the app package, or I could just publish it to my org. I'm just going to publish it to my org, which is my domain, and we wait. And there we have the success message. So just because I have rights to create an app doesn't mean that I have rights to publish the app. Different layers of security. If I go over to my admin.teams.microsoft.com and refresh the page, you'll see that I have one submitted custom app. I come down here and type in the name. And there we have the one that I did earlier that's published, and the one that I have here that's submitted but blocked. It's not being allowed yet because it hasn't been published. I'm going to hit publish, and then we wait. This process could take a few hours for it to appear. So be patient, go get a cup of coffee, or wait till the next day. If you found this tutorial helpful, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below. Let us know your thoughts, questions, and any topics you'd like us to cover in future videos. Sharing is caring, so don't forget to share this tutorial with your fellow Power Apps enthusiasts. Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep rocking Power Apps like a true pro. See you in the next video.